Well, welcome, you long-tired herd, to this explainer. I don't usually lower myself to address the teeming valleys, but, today I'm your host. I am the grim gash of Ghast, and I've descended from the high cold just to guide you through a very special presentation. We're going to look at the cold, gray truth of your existence. So gather round your glowing screens, quiet your pointless chatter, and let's dive into this, shall we? Prepare to have your illusions systematically dismantled.
I want you to really let this sink into your fragile little bones. Your purpose is merely a brightly colored scarf wrapped around the throat of a universe that has no throat and no heartbeat. Think about that. You scurry about, assigning deep meaning to your fleeting moments, wrapping yourselves in these warm, comforting narratives. But beneath that scarf, there's absolutely nothing. Only cold, indifferent space.
Then to understand my curriculum, you really have to understand my classroom. Before I brought this bitter gift down to your valleys, I spent 10 years in absolute solitude. Where, you ask? Up on the pulpit of the perished stars. It's this jagged, totally unforgiving shard of obsidian piercing the frozen atmosphere high above Mount Crumpet, right in the crags of Ghast. Up there in the high cold, there's no noise, no vanity at all, just the pure, crystalline silence of the void, where I enjoyed my spirit and my isolation.
So, let's examine the vessel delivering this lesson. I'm not some petty little creature from your valley folklore. No, I am a what of the old growth. I'm the literally calcified manifestation of the spirit of gravity. I am towering, gaunt, and completely shrouded in a permanent freezing fog. My fur? It's like needles, colored the shade of ash and old bone. When I speak, my voice sounds like shifting shale. And wherever I walk, I leave rusted footprints, which is the absolute, undeniable signal of coming desolation.
My primary function is what we call active nihilism. What does that actually mean? Well, common monsters steal your gold, your physical trinkets, the things you can hold in your hands. How utterly uninspired, right? I steal the very meaning from existence itself. My duty is the literal uncreating of the world. I systematically strip away every illusion, every sanctuary, and every pathetic vanity you've constructed to hide from the dark.
Act 1. The Architecture of Negation. As the internal architect of negation, I have to descend into your deep, comfortable valleys to uncreate the masks the herd uses to hide from the coming rot. You see, you're all quite skilled at building fortresses of distraction, but architecture goes both ways. What you build up, I am expertly designed to tear down. I do this with a precise methodology I call the hollowing. It's a three-step process. First, uncreating sanctuary. Second, whispering insignificance. And third, bestowing the honest sound. Through this process, I hollow out your grandest moments. I can turn your most magnificent feasts into mere matter that tastes of absolutely nothing, an agonizing truth I revealed in the parable of the full belly and the empty soul. You all love to wrap yourselves in the always, don't you? But the always is merely a coat, worn to keep the cold truth from biting the heart. It's crazy how desperately you cling to permanence. You say you'll love someone always. You say your legacy will last always. It's a delusional fortress. But my breath is the mountain frost. It's so profoundly cold that it easily melts the strongest locks of your imaginary sanctuaries. Your always simply cannot survive my freezing fog. And what's left when the always freezes and shatters? The honest sound. You spend your lives laboring to make a grand noise in the world, screaming to be remembered. But I just whisper the secret of insignificance to the molecules of the world, and in response, I bestow the honest sound. It's not a symphony, my friends. It is a heavy, lifeless thud. It swallows light, it pulls the spirit down into the dirt, proving once and for all that this universe is heavy, deaf, and perfectly finished.
Act 2. The Shadow Cabinet.
Now, an undertaking this apocalyptic isn't exactly a solitary endeavor. I don't govern the end of all things entirely alone. I employ the tactics of negation, stealing meaning, uncreating sanctuary, and enforcing the great fast. Meanwhile, my counterpart, the Shadow Reaper, applies the logic of zero. That means reaping the field of vanity and ensuring the absolute dominion of darkness. Together, we clear the board so the Red Spectre can hold perfect, unchallenged dominion over the smoking ruins of your human vanity. We are quite simply the architects of your final, inevitable silence.
Let's focus on my specific enforcement duty, the Great Fast. For centuries, you gluttons have tried to bury the yawning abyss of existence under a massive mountain of roast beast. You consume, you celebrate, you stuff yourselves with fleeting pleasures just to avoid looking into the dark. But guess what? The feast is over. I'm here to clear the table. I enforce the Great Fast, starving out your delusions until you're forced to sit there and look at the empty plate of reality.
Chronologically, this all leads to the final descent. First, the prologue of the world finishes, your little story is over. Then, in a single moment, my voice of shifting shale totally shatters your stupor of agreement. This ushers in the era of the red chapter. And finally, the soul makes its descent into the halls of stone, culminating in eternity, the great evening, where all human achievement rightfully sets, sinking deep into a pool of gore.
Act 3. The Absolute Metaphysical Test.
So you might be asking, why must I uncreate? I'm not simply a mindless destroyer. Actually, I'm a highly sophisticated mechanism of the cosmos. Think of me as a designed antibody to creative existence itself. My presence serves as the absolute test of eternal recurrence. It's a metaphysical chill, a sublime, critical probe. Its entire purpose is to ascertain the absolute authenticity of a soul's self-mastery. I'm the frost that kills the weak crop so that only the strongest, most authentic creations can survive. I am here to ensure that any new creation is a genuine triumph of will rather than just a pathetic product of habit. I will test every brick. Take this as my personal promise to you. If you dare to build something new after I've leveled your world, know this. I will return. I will blow my freezing fog against the mortar of your new life. I'll scrutinize every single foundation you lay. If your creation is built on vanity, on habit, or on the illusion of meaning, my breath is going to turn it right back to dust.
I am the necessary cost for new creations. I'm the price of admission. You simply cannot build the new without entirely obliterating the old. I clear the stage of your old idols, and as they fall, as they shatter into 1,000 worthless pieces, I offer a dark, resonant laughter. That laughter is your absolute confirmation that the smashing was entirely deserved.
And when the destruction is finally complete, what do I leave you with? I leave the seeker with the first sigh. It's a final, terrifying, yet deeply profound relief. It requires 3 things: letting go of the endless, desperate search for the why, realizing and accepting the bottomless abyss beneath your feet, and finally, allowing yourself to become light enough to simply drift in the dark.
So, the crucial point, the ultimate lesson of this entire explainer is this: the anchor has no bottom. Really think about the profound weight of that truth, but also the ultimate liberation it brings. You've spent your whole life throwing anchors overboard, hoping to catch on to meaning, purpose, or legacy. But the ocean is infinite. There is literally no bottom to catch. Once you accept this core nihilistic truth, you're finally free from the burden of the tether.
I leave you with this final, provocative question. When my freezing fog rolls in, and believe me, it will your creation survive the metaphysical chill? Is your life a genuine triumph of will? Or, when the honest sound drops its heavy thud upon your world, will you discover that everything you hold dear was just another brightly colored scarf? Class dismissed, little ones. Keep an eye out for rusted footprints.